In California, $2,038 is the median rent for a one-bedroom apartment. That is the entire budget before a single grocery run. In Florida, $2,000 a month is not a rent check. It is an entire lifestyle. No state income tax, groceries, utilities, transportation, and entertainment, all covered, with money left over. Florida's inland corridor runs 18 to 23% below the national average cost of living. These are not tourist towns, they are the Florida that actual Floridians live in. And for remote workers, retirees, and anyone done paying California prices, they are some of the best deals in America right now. In the 10th place, Live Oak sets the baseline for what $2,000 a month can buy in real Florida. Median rent for a one-bedroom sits at $850, leaving $1,800 in total monthly expenses, groceries, utilities, transportation, and entertainment, all included. That means a $200 buffer remains even after the bills are paid. Live Oak is about an hour's drive from the Gulf, with Crystal River State Park just 30 miles away. The town's appeal is its pure affordability, no state income tax, costs well below the national average, and a slower pace of life. But the trade-off is real. Limited nightlife, a modest downtown, and a longer commute to the beach. For anyone looking to stretch their dollars without sacrificing every amenity, Live Oak proves the math is undeniable. Even the lowest-ranked town on this list leaves cash to spare. Number 9, Avon Park offers a sharper trade-off between cost and lifestyle. Rent for a one-bedroom clocks in at $870, pushing total monthly spending to $1,900. That leaves a slim $100 buffer, tighter than some towns, but still enough to cover the basics with care. The payoff is direct access to Lake Weir, a freshwater escape for fishing, kayaking, or sunset walks just steps from home. Avon Park's Central Florida location means Lakeland jobs are only 15 miles away, and the I-4 corridor puts Orlando and Tampa within reach. The compromise is clear: less cushion for emergencies or extras, but a stronger day-to-day quality of life. For anyone willing to trade a bit of surplus for lakeside living, Avon Park's math is hard to beat. 8th place, Sebring delivers a different kind of value, where the draw isn't just low rent, but a signature cultural experience. Median rent for a one-bedroom hovers at $900, pushing total monthly expenses to $1,950. That leaves a razor-thin $50 buffer after bills, groceries, and transportation, one of the smallest cushions in this countdown. Yet Sebring is home to the legendary Sebring International Raceway, hosting an annual vintage car festival that transforms the town into a motorsports hotspot. For racing fans, this is Florida's hidden gem, a place where the engines and community spirit run just as hot as the summer sun. The trade-off is clear. You get a unique lifestyle perk, but every dollar counts. With only a slim surplus, Sebring appeals to those willing to trade a bigger cash cushion for front-row access to a world-class event. For anyone who values culture over comfort, the math still works, but the margin is tight. Number 7, Wauchula offers what so many renters in high-cost states can only dream of: a house with a real yard for just $800 a month. That leaves total monthly spending at $1,800. So even after groceries, utilities, and transportation, there's a $200 buffer to cover emergencies or the occasional splurge. This is the rare Florida town where outdoor space doesn't come with a luxury price tag. Most rentals include a patch of green for pets, gardening, or weekend barbecues. Wauchula sits in Hardy County, just 15 minutes from the Lake Canal and an hour's drive to full-service shopping and healthcare in Arcadia. The trade-off is clear. The local job market is limited, nightlife is almost non-existent, and the nearest big city amenities require a drive. But for anyone who wants room to breathe without breaking the bank, the math in Wauchula is simple: space, savings, and a yard, all for less than most city apartments. Number 6, Chipley stands out as the first town on this list where Gulf Coast dreams come within reach without breaking the bank. Here, Median rent for a one-bedroom hovers at just $775, which means total monthly expenses land around $1,800. That leaves a $200 buffer for savings, emergencies, or the occasional splurge, all while keeping well below the national average. The real kicker is location. Chipley sits only 35 miles or about a 45-minute drive from Panama City Beach. Residents can spend weekends on white sand or paddle the spring-fed creeks of Pioneer State Forest, then return home to a quiet, budget-friendly community. The trade-off is the modest local job market and a sleepy downtown that slows to a crawl outside of tourist season. Still, for anyone seeking low rent, a taste of the Gulf, and a bit of financial breathing room, Chipley proves the math is hard to beat. Number 5, Arcadia finds the sweet spot where cost and lifestyle peak for budget-minded Floridians. Rent for a one-bedroom averages just $800, driving total monthly expenses to $1,700, even after groceries, utilities, transportation, and a little entertainment. That leaves a $300 surplus, the largest buffer yet for a Gulf-adjacent town. The real kicker is location. Arcadia sits only 26 miles from the nearest Gulf beach, putting sun and sand just a 35-minute drive away without paying coastal premiums. Residents enjoy a historic downtown rodeo culture and easy access to the Withlacoochee Forest for weekend adventures. The trade-off is real. About a fifth of homes sit in the floodplain, and hurricane insurance is a must. Nightlife and job options are modest, but for anyone seeking a genuine Florida town with room to spare in the budget, Arcadia's math is hard to beat. Number 4, Lake City edges into the top ranks by offering a blend of river recreation and access to university perks, though it does so with the slimmest buffer among the contenders. Median rent for a one-bedroom sits at $950, which, after groceries, utilities, transportation, and entertainment, brings total monthly spending to $1,950. That leaves just $50 to spare, the narrowest margin in the top half of the list. What Lake City offers in return is direct access to the St. Johns River and a humid, green landscape that is a magnet for kayakers and anglers. The real draw, however, is its proximity to Gainesville, just 30 miles down the highway, putting University of Florida jobs, medical facilities, and cultural events within commuting distance. The trade-off is clear. The buffer is tight, summer humidity pushes utility bills higher, and the job market in town is modest. Still, for anyone seeking college town energy without the price tag, the math in Lake City is hard to argue with. Number 3, Marianna stands out as Florida's lowest cost living package, not just for rent, but for the entire monthly spend. With a cost of living index of 77.1, nearly 23% below the national average, Marianna lets a $2,000 monthly budget stretch further than almost anywhere else in the state. Median rent for a one-bedroom hovers at $900, which, when combined with groceries, utilities, transportation, and entertainment, brings total monthly expenses to just $1,850. That leaves a $150 buffer, a reassuring cushion for savings or the unexpected. Life here centers around the Apalachicola River with easy access to fishing, kayaking, and quiet trails that wind through Jackson County. Groceries and fuel consistently price lower than in bigger cities, adding to the overall savings. The compromise is clear. Marianna is a true small town with fewer dining options, limited nightlife, and a slower pace that may not suit everyone. But for anyone seeking the purest value in Florida, the math in Marianna is undeniable. Everything costs less, and the buffer is real. Number 2. Crystal River delivers a level of affordability that feels almost unreal for modern Florida. Median rent for a one-bedroom sits at just $613, and when you add up groceries, utilities, transportation, and a bit for entertainment, the total monthly spend lands at $1,620. That leaves a $380 buffer, matching the best on this list, and more than triple what you'd get in many so-called affordable towns across the country. But the real headline here isn't just the math, it's the manatees. Crystal River is the only place in the United States where you can legally swim with wild manatees, thanks to its federally protected wildlife refuge. The Gulf is just 9 miles away, offering kayaking, fishing, and a laid-back pace that draws both retirees and nature lovers. The trade-off? Crystal River is a small, quiet community with limited dining and shopping, and red tide advisories can shut down water activities a few times each year. Still, for anyone seeking dream-level affordability with a true Florida wildlife experience, the numbers in Crystal River are hard to beat. And finally, in first place, Inverness crowns the countdown as Florida's ultimate $2,000 a month town. The numbers set it apart. Median one-bedroom rent lands at just $615, pushing total monthly spending to $1,620. That leaves a $380 buffer, matching the best on this list and delivering a margin that is rare anywhere in the state. But Inverness goes further, building a lifestyle around its affordability. The Cove co-working space anchors a growing remote work scene, with high-speed fiber and a roster of digital nomads who gather for networking and shared projects. The town's Spring Festival fills the calendar with music, food, and local art, bringing real community energy to the quiet streets. Safety stats back up the appeal. Violent crime rates sit well below the national average, and the inland location shields residents from the worst of hurricane season. It's a 17-mile drive to the Gulf, so beach days are still within reach, but the trade-off is a slower pace and fewer nightlife options. For anyone seeking the strongest deal, a real buffer, a supportive work environment, and a town that is affordable without feeling empty, Inverness stands as proof that the Florida dream is still alive, and the math is undeniable. Across all 10 towns, a clear pattern emerges. In Florida's overlooked communities, $2,000 is not just survival, it is a full lifestyle, taxes and all. The math is undeniable. These places deliver real value far below the national average. For cost-conscious movers, this is Florida's best-kept secret.